What's up, Magical Misfits? Drew here. So when I first started my channel, I did a studio tour, and I had to actually break it down in a few different parts, and I ended up actually giving up before I finished because my studio is extra. There's just way too much happening in here to try to give a full tour. And I call it the studio, but it's really a witchy room. I call it a studio because this is where I create. I make my polymer creations in here, and I do lots of other creative things in here. I make all of my crafty things I've done on my videos, but it's definitely more witchy than studio, even though I create all of my creations basically in here. But we do refer to it as the studio. At any rate, with it being so extra, I decided that I wanted to revisit the tours, but I wanted to do so in a more focused manner. So like I've done the bookshelf tour, and actually the bookshelf wasn't even in the studio when I originally did the studio tour, but obviously today I want to revisit my herbs. Quickly before I do so though, so you're not going to find any kind of uniformity really in my collection as far as like the glassware, the containers, things like that. I actually think that when people have a cohesive aesthetic with their herb collections, that it's beautiful. I also think when you don't, it's beautiful. I just think herb collections are beautiful. I have seen some really nice, even like in real legit apothecaries that sell to the public, like just mason jars or whatever, just uniform, beautiful displays. I do not have that going on. I use tins, I use old candle jars, I use old jelly jars, whatever. A lot of the containers that I have, the vast majority of them that my herbs are stored in, were found at thrift stores. I just use basically whatever I can get my hands on. I have been collecting herbs for a very long time. When I first started my practice, like I think almost 13 years ago, I was immediately drawn to candles, crystals, and herbs. So it's been building since then. Herbcraft is a huge part of my practice, therefore I have lots of herbs. Not to mention that I use herbs in many of my products in my shop. So I have a lot of herbs. I have a big variety of herbs. The herb collection that I have here in the studio is either mine or mine and my husband's. My husband is also a practicing witch. He has herbs that he works with in his practice that I do not work with. He stores those in his little witchy cabinet, which actually lives in the living room. The herbs that we have in common are here in the studio, and then the herbs that are just for me are also here in the studio. You will also not find labeling on my herbs. Now that's not a hard fast rule. There are some that do have labels. Typically that's going to be a label that I have made out of polymer clay, but I really, for me personally, want my herb collection to look beautiful. And there's no way, since my containers are not uniform, for me to have a uniform labeling system. And that's annoying to me. So there aren't any visible labels on the vast majority of my herbs, but that's not to say there aren't labels. Most of them do have labels either on the bottom of the jar or in the lid or somewhere hidden away where you can't see it, very small little labels. I don't have the greatest memory, but I have been working with my herb collection for nearly 13 years. So I do know just by looking at it what it is most of the time. So the vast majority of my collection is back here in the conjuring cabinet, but there's a few elsewhere. So at any rate, I love watching other witches show me their herbs. I love herbs. So I love looking at other witches' collections. So I thought I'd share mine as well. And actually, I'm going to show you the entirety of the cabinet. So there's some stuff in there that's not herbs exactly, but it's all spell related. It's all witchy related. I don't think I really need to talk anymore about it. Let's just do it. Herbs are over here on this little ledge. It's where I hang my wire wrapped jewelry that I make. And up above it, I have this aromatherapy checklist. Okay, so this is dragon's blood, this is copal, this is frankincense, and this is myrrh, and I just knocked over my owl. Oh. And this just has some stuff that was my mother's in it, some spiritual stuff. Right here is my hibiscus. This is one of those I used an old candle. I have every intention of relabeling these. The second one right here is lilies. Then up here, I've got some fennel back here. I've got some tobacco here, mostly wild harvested. This is Cascara Sagrada, and this is sassafras. Down here in this little thing, we have some saltpeter. We have some, oh, I don't know, vervain. Right here we have lemon verbena. This is red clover, I remember because of the jar. Passion flower, obviously. Right here we got some tansy. It's pretty. And right here there is hops. Down here are most of my powders. So right here is cinnamon, and this is ginger, and this is white sandalwood, and this is pumice. Here we have terracotta. Here's my white willow bark, and this is what I'm talking about, polymer labels. This is eggshells. I actually put a little bit of cornstarch in mine so that if I want to add a carrier oil, it'll hold. This is sulfur. All right, down here we've got patchouli, and these are, it's red chili. That's catnip in that big vitamin bottle right there. Star anise, and this is cloves. This one I believe is Lojon. Yes, Lojon. And then we have red sandalwood chips, and we have tonka beans. I love them. One of my favorite things to work with. And my activated charcoal lives here. Above the conjuring cabinet, we have up at the top, there's wisteria. There's rose, that's lady's mantle. I'm almost 100% sure on that. Yes, okay. Right here is mistletoe. Here is pennyroyal. Here is Irish moss. It's kind of covered up, you can't really see it. Here's some mugwort. Here are cotton blossoms. This is a flower medley, just flowers picked up from the yard. In the back here, there's some pink Himalayan salt. This is my mint. This is my lemon balm. This is basil. Right here, this is uva ursa. Here's ginger root. These are my poisonous mushrooms. Back here in the back, we have rosemary. I know the lighting isn't the greatest. I apologize, guys. This is just some like rock salt. Here are juniper berries. This is pink Himalayan salt broken down because this is big chunks of it back here like you would get in a salt lamp. White sage, cinnamon, cedar bark. This right here is what I call love offerings. So anytime somebody gives me herbs, like for example, Brittany from Palm Tree Bewitchery, anytime she sends a package, she puts like natural confetti in. So there's some of that in there. There's some from Trish in here, and then Witchy sisters who actually live near me that I know in my personal life. This one is wormwood. I love this container, you guys. Like I said, most of these were found at thrift stores. This is blackberry bramble. This is rose hips. Right here we have pumpkin seed and pumpkin. These are my red poppies. This is lemon. That was actually sent to me by Erica from Raw Spirits, so thank you. Right here we've got cedar wood. This is all my citrus. Right here, this is lily of the valley, and this is lilac, sent to me by Trish from Bean Bag Hagwag. Thank you, Trish. Back here is yarrow. Right here is chamomile, another candle jar. Here we have the inside. I'm going to take these front ones out so that we can see what's behind, and I'll put them back in. Okay, so back here, this is dandelion leaves. This is applewood. This is more pink Himalayan salt. This is another flower medley, just flowers that I pick from my yard. I use for offerings, things like that. This is my earth-baked salt, which is something I make myself with terracotta dust and various kinds of salt. This is so cute. Hold on, let me look at this. They're little trees. They are little maple and pine trees. And the reason they're like this is they were growing somewhere that was not ideal. It was a park and where children play, and they had decided they were going to grow there, and they weren't going to survive. Here are daisy petals. This is raw cotton. I live in a cotton state. Here is some blessed thistle. Here we have some lemongrass. These are dandelion heads right here. Here I have some birch bark. Right here is dandelion root. So this is seaweed in this little one here. This is more cascada sagrada that my daughter gave me back when she moved. I had given her herbs for her witchy practice, but she couldn't take them all with her. This right here is yerba mate. Right here I have some holly leaves and berries. Here is my highjohn. Oh, I love highjohn more than I can tell you. This is my mandrake, and this is angelica. I'm going to do the same in the bottom as I did in the top. So back here I have St. John's wort, and this is sweetgrass that I use in my spellcraft. These are orchids. I don't know what this is. Meadowsweet. This is nettle. Right here in the front I have nettle. This is my mint extract. I use this in gratitude rituals. It's just something I've always done since my very first ritual. This is my doorstop dust that I make. This is just a container full of earthy bits. You never know when you're going to need an earthy bit. Back here, this little tiny container in the dark that you can't see, it's really pretty. Actually, right now is holding my offering for when I go get crossroad dirt. Some more pink Himalaya salt. This again was my daughter's that she ended up gifting back to me when she moved. All right, right here. This is weird. Okay, so these are things for my when I consecrate. This is snow water. This is ashes from my cauldron. This is earth from my yard and my mother's grave dirt. And then I also have the feathers that I use for my consecration rituals. Right here is more roses. And this cute little guy is salt. Sometimes I like to have it in a wide mouth jar just for easy access when I want to get my hands in there. Right here, one of my favorites, balm of Gilead. Here is my black salt. On top I have this little mirror that I used for spell work and shamanic, journey isn't the right word, but shamanic exercises, we'll say. Here is my mango seed. I'm probably going to use that for prosperity working at some point. Camphor. So right here I've got some myrtle that my daughter gave me when she left, and some elderberries that she gave me when she left, when she moved so far away from me. Here I have quartz crystals, little quartz points for workings, and this little guy is my lodestone, and this one is my black tourmaline. I also have this little container of Dead Sea salt that was gifted to me by my dear sister Starlight Spellsinger here on YouTube. This side of the cabinet has my rum, because rum is an important offering staple for me, and this is my essential oils. Down here there are various things. This is a bath salt that I made here. This is my black cat oil. Here is my kapet or kifi that I made. Back here, this is like, there's sand dollar pieces and kinds of sea bits in this little container with seashell on top. There's all kinds of goodies here, but let's just focus on the herbs. And here I have my blue sage. Obviously this is my thyme. This is my personal stash of graveyard dirt. This is my chicory root. This is where I keep my jasmine. I couldn't remember what these were, and I don't have it labeled. They're tulips. I remembered. They're tulips. Right here's cherry blossom. Here is hydrangea. There's sunflower back here in this big one. Right here is my crepe myrtle. Earlier I said that this was lilac, but this is buckthorn. Buckthorn flowers. This is the lilac. And still from Trish from Beanbag Hagwag. This is where I keep my lavender. I need more badly. This is where I keep my whole thistle. That's really nasty. Comes in handy along with blackberry bramble. These are my apple blossoms. And then we come to the bottom of the cabinet. This side is just wow, right? Wow. Okay, these are candles for product. These are candles for my own using. And here are all kinds of candles. Candle storage. This is like backstock of herbs. I just keep them all tucked away in here so that I know where they are and I can get to them. Obviously I have backstock of incense here. There's all kinds of Dead Sea spa salts and Epsom salts and just all kinds of goodies. Cedar plank over here. These are labels for product. Back there is my backstock of exquisite candles, and then they're Hanukkah candles that my husband found on sale and brought me home. And over here you'll see that there are a million boxes. So it's a beautiful box that I got from Sandy over at Artistic Mystic. She has a Facebook group that is a bargain and trade page basically, and I got it on there. But this is where I keep my chime candles. This beautiful ornate box is something I've had forever, and inside it I keep my exquisite candles. I love this box. I got this at I want to say I got it at Marshall's, but it could have been Ross's or TJ Maxx or something like that. Warning, if you don't like animal bits, you want to move away from this part. Skip this part, stop watching, whatever you got to do. This is my collection. So in here there are butterflies, obviously. In here there's snake skin. This is teeth from like an elk or antelope or something of that nature. These are crab bits, all kinds of crabby pieces. Horseshoe crab, regular, I forget what they're called, the real pretty leopard spotted ones. And here are my spiders. I get so happy when I find a dead spider. I'm weird. And here are my dog's toenails. This is, they're just little bits. They're shark teeth, mainly, is what is in there. These are turtle bones and scale. That obviously is a dragonfly. All right, so there's the snake bone. Another box I got the same time I got the other one. This one is more herbage. So this is sandalwood. It was gifted to me. I use it sparingly. Echinacea powder. These are cactus spines. Benzoin, gum of benzoin, which I love. Oh, these are actually date seeds. This is red sandalwood powder. More white sandalwood powder. This is dulse. Looks like fish food. It's basically a type of seaweed. Lemon balm powder. This is just ground up activated charcoal disc. This is clove dust. This is cardamom. This is yambe bark. The only thing I know to use this for is lust, and so I don't use it often. Poppy seed. There's a smudge stick in here. I believe it's mugwort and something. They're corn husks that encased dragon's blood, and I keep them because I use them in spellcraft occasionally. Here is some dove's blood. Another smudge stick. This is some magnetic sand, an incense that I made, oh gosh, quite some time ago. These are just basically incense powder in here. This is a cactus flower. In this pretty little box I have my cat's claw. Now there's two different kinds of cat's claws. This is not the grass kind, obviously. It's a seed. It grows a beautiful plant. The flowers or the leaves, I can't remember, look just like the seed. I've actually thought of growing it. All right, just 2 more boxes. I've had these forever. Got them at Michael's. I have them all over the studio for different purposes. It's falling apart. You can't see. I can just hot glue it back together. It'll be fine. But this is where I keep my blends. So, for example, for my element candles, earth, air, fire, water blends here, and my release blend for my release candle I make, and exorcism skulls. I used to make exorcism skull candles. I don't have those right now. My sea wands, when I make sea wands, and then in each of these little individual boxes, like here are my sabbats, all of my sabbat blends, and the other one has my espit blends, and this one I don't remember what's in here. Oh, these are my altar charms for that I make, and just so on and so forth. Some of the blends are for personal reasons. I have like my ancestor blend. Where's that? Right here. For my ancestor candle. That's just personal use. These are more personal use. And then some are for product. And this last little box is just stuff. Honestly, here are my droppers. This is all my dyes for bath salts. Dyes for bath bombs. Extra candles. These are candles that were sent to me by Artemis Nightingale's husband after she passed. This is the very first candle I ever made, y'all. The very first candle I ever made. This is one of my psychic ability intuition candles. This is one of, I think this is manifestation. Again, one of my very early candles. Oh, and here I have stuff for making my oils. There's some amber and little droppers, and here are the labels for my essential oils, and you know, just, I don't know, just stuff. I have stuff everywhere. Look, this cabinet right here, this is my work table where I make all my candles and stuff. Look under here. It's ridiculous. That's why I'm saying my studio is extra. At any rate, guys, I hope you enjoyed the tour. I may do further tours. I don't know. I think this was plenty long enough. I hope that some of you were into it. Like I said, I love this kind of video, so I thought I would share. Thanks as always for watching, and until next time, much love and gratitude.